Well, this is the last one. We're essentially up to date to all to Pyrrhixz Uma Musume video. Tokai Teio, a triumphant return in Uma Musume. Yeah, this is the last one. You guys actually asked for me to react to this, so we will. Let's just jump in. Funny enough, I do not have her, but I do now have the wedding outfit, Mayano Top Gun, and I do have the Symboli Rudolph. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. At 4 stars, by the way. I pulled her like 3 times in 3 multis. Pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, let's jump in. Let's jump in.
Before this video begins, if you'd like to see me play Uma Musume live on my Twitch, I'll link it down in the description below. To further support this series, consider becoming a channel member as well, or leave a super chat and tell me what you enjoyed most.
Yeah, support this man. He does an incredible job with these videos. I really enjoy them. They're really good. Like I love them. They're good. He's doing an amazing job. Also, I play as well Uma Musume. On Thursdays we play that. So yeah. Check it out. Check it out. Usually I just try to get better sparks. It's a pain in the ass. Apparently, I do have a speed spark there now, which I'm trying to get onto my which I'm trying to get also on my Harurara.
Thank you to all my current channel members and subscribers over on Twitch. And now, without further delay, let's get right into the video. Horse racing remains to this day as one of the most popular sports in Japan. Through the decades, legacies have been established and several racehorses have solidified themselves in the JRA Hall of Fame, forever immortalized for their greatness on the race.
I like her outfit. Looks cute, like a little cape or whatever you want to call it. It's not really a cape, right? It's over the shoulder, right? I think it's cute.
Racetrack. Every year, around 6,000 to 8,000 new racehorses are registered to the JRA, and of that group, less than 30% would manage a single win throughout their career. Of this 30%, even fewer would be known as Triple Crown racehorses. Over the span of 1941 to 1992, the odds of becoming a Triple Crown racehorse were 1 in every 76,500. For many, this prestigious title was far out of reach, but for one racehorse, it would be the foundation to a story of perseverance. This is the story of Tokai Teio, the racehorse who defied all odds and turned the tragedy into a triumphant return. If you've been playing
tragedy. I never trust this. I never do. I wish I could have this card. Like, it's in so many recommended sets. And this one as well. I think you can't see it, like, right? The wit one. But this one, it is in so many sets that could be useful. I hate that I don't have this one.
Uma Musume, or have been following the series, you'll know the game utilizes real-life events to shape the characters we race in the game. Before we dive into Teio's story, we first need to familiarize ourselves with what exactly a Triple Crown racehorse is. In the game, you'll compete in various races to climb to the top, eventually reaching the Ura Finale series. This instance in the game, just like everything in Uma Musume, is modeled after races that took place in real life. A Triple Crown racehorse is a 3-year-old thoroughbred who has won 3 races that make up the prestigious Japanese Triple Crown. These races should sound familiar if you played through Uma Musume Pretty Derby. These races include the Satsuki Sho, Tokyo Yunshun, or the Japanese Derby, and the Kika Sho. The first ever Triple Crown racehorse was St. Light, who was given the Triple Crown title in 1941. The next racehorse to receive this title would be Shinzan in 1964, Mr. CB in 1983, and
I find that such a funny name. Mr. CB is such a funny name. I like it. I like it.
finally Symboli Rudolph in 1984. Tokai Teio was set to be the next recipient of this prestigious title. This was because Symboli Rudolph was Teio's sire, making him bred for the racetrack just as his father was. On April 20th, 1988, Tokai Teio was born at the Nagahama Ranch in Nikapu, Hokkaido. Even Teio's name is a reference to his father's crowning achievements. Teio translates to monarch, directly
Interesting. Emperor, monarch. Woo! These names are fire.
referring to Rudolph's nickname Kote, meaning emperor. From birth, Tokai Teio didn't show much
Damn, aura. I like that. It's huge. That is huge. Such aura. Both of them already with the name is crazy.
promise, having long legs and a delicate frame. However, his potential began to shine through as conditioning and training began. Teio displayed flexible movement and a competitive spirit, reigniting the hope that he could follow up in his father's footsteps. Teio's unique flexibility is also brought up in the series, both by her fellow Umas and in the iconic Teio step, which is present both in the anime and in-game. In the world of Uma Musume, Tokai Teio is a bright, bubbly Uma who has a natural-born talent for racing. She sees Rudolph as a mentor and a symbol of success. Rudolph is a student council president and always carries a sense of seriousness and elegance through the story of Uma Musume. With Tokai Teio, Rudolph seems to have a softer side for her junior, and even from afar, still hopes the best for the Uma who admires her so much. This is yet another nod to real-life events in Uma Musume, showcasing the lineage of Symboli Rudolph to Tokai Teio. Tokai Teio also displays high levels of speed in the series as well, a nod to the outstanding.
Unfortunately, I don't have her. Or do I? I think I have her. I did get Silent Zuzuka though recently, so that one I also did get. I did get a few that I just got. I also got Daiwa Scarlet to 3 stars, which changed her outfit. Same with Gold Ship apparently, which I found interesting. I need to get Harura to 3 stars. Not gonna lie, just to see that outfit change if she does have one. That is
Performance that he'd show on ramp courses. A horse of Tokai Teio's caliber should not have been able to record good times. He had a longer stride, but even still was able to shatter all expectations. Due to this, Shoichi Matsumoto, Teio's trainer, would plan a schedule to have Teio seize the next Triple Crown. In the anime, Tokai Teio is also racing.
Look at that, like that blue, like these buttons, like that pink thingy. I don't know what it's called. Right? She wears 2 different gloves. The shoulder plate on her head, she has a bow. Like, it's cute. It's cute. She's overall just cute. I love it. She's so cute.
As a legacy to Rudolph. Teio is inspired by seeing Rudolph race before she joins Tracen Academy. When first meeting with the legendary Triple Crown recipient, Teio vows to be the next Triple Crown racehorse, directly referencing the lineage Teio came from once more. Through the next string of victories, she'd inspire future generation of Umas in the series like Kita-san Black and Satono Diamond. From Teio's debut on December 1st, 1990, he dominated each and every single race he took part in. The very same speed and competitive spirit shown in Uma Musume is reflected in Teio's race history. From his initial debut until May 26, 1991, Teio remained undefeated on the race course. In this short time, he'd also placed first in the Satsuki Sho and Tokyo Yushun. This left only the Kika Sho to claim the Triple Crown. However, only 3 days after winning the Tokyo Yushun, Teio would hit a massive roadblock. With the Kika Sho and the Triple Crown title within reach, Tokai Teio would sustain his first injury in his racing career. Just as the anime subtly hints to in the first few episodes, Teio's keen-eyed handlers also felt something was off with the racehorse. After an examination on Teio was conducted, it was revealed that his left leg had been fractured. This
Again, horses are super fragile with their legs. Like, it's terrible. Like, it's actually terrible. Like, so many of the videos we have watched by now had horses involved with, leg problems here. Which is a problem. Okay, so the 3 stars I have, the port ones, right? Not the ones you just straight up get, right? Are Symboli Rudolph, Special Week, Silent Suzuka, Maruzensky, Mayana Top Gun, the wedding one, Mihono Bourbon, I think is she called, right? Mihono Bourbon, Rice Shower, and I got Kuren-chan, which I haven't used yet before, so that's gonna be interesting. Probably on Thursday.
Fortunately, would shatter the dreams of Teio following in his father's footsteps, and in the anime, come as a devastating blow to Teio for not fulfilling her promise to Rudolph. The entirety of Uma Musume Season 2 are the ups and downs of Teio's career. From this point until Teio's final race, I will do my best to paint a coherent timeline between the anime and real-life events as best as I can. Due to Teio's delicate frame, he was more susceptible to injuries such as this. Teio would spend nearly a year focusing on recovering and easing his way back into racing. In the anime, it's not depicted as anything severe. The first fracture is something Teio overcomes with relative ease, and is back to racing shortly after.
Okay, the first fracture. So, yeah. The horses, slim build, so to speak, or weaker build, whatever you want to call it. I guess you could consider it a weaker build, right? Since being prone to injuries are probably not that normal, or not that common. They are race horses after all. Interesting. They're gonna be more.
Returning to racing on April 5th, 1992, Tokai Teio will place first in the Osaka High. This came as a wave of relief to onlooking fans who were worried for Teio's first injury. Their beloved racehorse had bounced back, and even though he didn't receive a triple crown, he still displayed the same dominating presence he'd been known for on the racecourse. It was very rare to see an outcome like Teio's return, several months without racing to immediately dominating the competition once more. This feeling of relief, sadly, would be short-lived though. Teio's next race would be the Spring Tenno Show, with his major competition being Mejiro McQueen. The interesting thing about this race is the overall distance of it. Teio had raced on tracks ranging from 1800 to 2400 meters, comfortably racing medium-distance tracks over the course of his career. This would be Teio's first long-distance run, challenging both the UMA version and the real-life counterpart with a long road of conditioning and training. This rivalry reached its peak on April 26, 1992.
Interesting. Yeah, a few of those have that actually, which is sometimes super annoying because, yeah, I just can't get the right builds done.
When the Spring Tenno Show would take place. Despite the difference in distance, Teio was still the majority favorite to win, holding his title as an undefeated racehorse. For context, up until this point in Teio's career, the lowest he'd ever been on the fan favorite was 3rd. In the 7 races previous, Teio would be the favorite to win by a landslide, and this race was no different. Due to this, it came as a major shock and upset that Teio wouldn't place 2nd after McQueen, but instead 5th overall. This would be Teio's lowest placement in his career thus far. Unsurprisingly, Teio's image was criticized by the media, establishing this event as a dethroning of an undefeated racehorse. The expectation was high due to Rudolph being adept to long-distance running. However, Teio couldn't live up to the same expectation. This loss would sow the seeds of doubt in Uma Musume for Teio, and only continued to snowball from this point on. Several days after Teio's defeat, he experienced his 2nd leg fracture of his career. At this point,
Second, is there gonna be more? Probably, right? There's probably gonna be more. I see all of this dude getting... This guy... I see a lot of clips of shit happening to this dude.
Teio's injuries would be taken more seriously. Repeated injuries such as fractures could be deadly to racehorses, so it would be best to tread lightly. Despite Teio's injuries, and clearly personified in the anime, Teio's fighting spirit never dwindled, even after losing both the Triple Crown and his undefeated race history. This is the point where the anime ventures away from real-life events, so from this point onward, I'll be sure to cover what the anime left out in the remainder of Teio's career. On November 1st, 1992, Teio participated in the Autumn Tenno Show. Even after the first defeat of his career, fans still firmly believed in Teio's ability to win. This was back on a 2,000-meter course, something Teio showed clear domination on in the early stages of his career. Sadly, this race too would come as a major upset to fans of the beloved racehorse. Teio found herself unable to accelerate any further midway through the race, as reflected from actual racing footage. Teio would hover mid-pack for the entirety of the race, finishing 7th overall, far lower.
Ooh, even lower. That's the lowest yet. Ooh, harsh.
Than the original 5th place upset against McQueen. This would come as another major blow to Teio's reputation, and cause firm believers of Teio to lose faith in the racehorse who dominated the majority of their career.
Like, there's huge expectation, right? Like, because of Symbolic Rudolph, right? So, people had a lot of faith in that horse. Yikes!
In Uma Musume, following the Autumn Tenno Show, we followed Teio on an emotional journey through recovery and rediscovery. Episode 7 of the anime would showcase a devastating loss at the Arima Kinen, with Teio placing 11th overall. Following this, Teio would fracture her leg yet again in episode 9, reflecting events that happened on June 3, 1993. The 11th place Arima Kinen would take place on December 27, 1992. But between this point and the depiction of Teio's third fracture would be one of the most important races of Teio's career.
11th place? Did I just hear that correctly? That is rough. So we dropped slowly from 5th to 7th to 11th?
This race, unfortunately, is not one depicted in the anime, and is a race that we're all too familiar with if you've seen Uma Musume Season 1. The Japan Cup is a prestigious international race first established in 1981. This would pit Japanese racehorses against the best from around the world. The first race would include horses from Japan, the United States, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, and India. Horse racing had a strong presence in Japan at the time, and expectations were high to see a win from Japan overall. The first ever Japan Cup winner was Marzi Dotes from the United States, coming as a major upset to the Japanese people. Following the debut of the Japan Cup, the door would be open to the best horses from around the world to participate, solidifying it as one of the most competitive international events to ever be established in horse racing. From the Japan Cup's initial establishment to the time of Teio's racing career in 1992, there would only be 2 victors crowned from Japan. These would be Katsuragi Ace in 1984 and Simbali Rudolph in 1985. From 1986 to 1991, Japan would see repeated losses at the Japan Cup. As the years progressed, faith in a Japanese victory grew smaller and smaller, and the legacy of the back-to-back wins of Katsuragi Ace and Simbali Rudolph slowly began to be.
She also looks cool, like the baby blue, and then the black, and then it's the red from the inside of the gloves, right? Looks also really cool. She looks also cool. I need her.
Become a distant memory. Funnily enough, the Season 1 depiction of Special Week's win would be taken from the 1999 Japan Cup, 7 years after Teio's participation. Special Week's win would usher in another wave of hope for the Japanese people, and be the first of several consecutive wins of Japanese racehorses in the following years. The following victories would include TM Opero in the year 2000, and Jungle Pocket in 2001. From 2001 till modern day, foreign competitors would only steal a victory twice from the pride of Japan. What once began as a race which showcased weakness over foreign competitors, now would show strong determination and pride of the Japanese people. Currently, Japan has consecutive wins from 2006 to 2024, an 18-year record of wins at the Japan Cup. Though Special Week's win is seen as a major victory, it would be Tokai Teio's performance in 1993 that would revitalize the pride and hope of the Japanese racehorses. Despite Teio's second fracture and the low placement in the Autumn Tenno show, he was set to participate in the 1992 Japan Cup. It's important to note that Tokai Teio's competition was nothing to scoff at either. Even at the time of writing the script, the horses Teio went up against are still widely seen as the strongest lineup in the history of the Japan Cup races. Teio wasn't seen as a horse to claim victory either, placing 5th in the overall popularity poll to win.
So 5th in popularity, strong opponents, and still pull it through. Pretty cool. I like it.
So it would come as a major shock to everyone on November 29, 1992, when Tokai Teio began to advance to the front of the pack. Against all odds, in front of the entire world, Tokai Teio was about to solidify himself as a legendary racehorse. Teio had upset all odds, claiming victory for Japan once more. Even though Teio would
big, that's big. I love this.
Never be a Triple Crown recipient, he managed to do something even better. Despite 2 leg fractures, Teio was able to bring home a victory his father had years ago, showcasing the determination and competitive spirit that was still present within Tokai Teio. Teio had not only bested all odds against one of the most difficult rosters ever recorded, but had shown the people that nothing could keep him down.
What I want from this is at least the good end. I want this good ending. We had a few fractures, right? But now I want like a big win, but I want a good ending. No bad endings here.
I'll never personally understand why the anime shied away from this race, but I wanted to make sure to highlight it in this video. Aside from Teio's miracle return, which we'll cover shortly, this was the highlight of Tokai Teio's career. The sheer sound of the fans' cheers and the excitement in the announcers' voices are enough to establish just how much hope Tokai Teio had inspired with this triumphant victory.
Look how happy he sounded, excited. That's awesome. I love this. That's amazing. That makes me happy too.
Alright, now that we covered that portion of Teio's career, we can look once more to Uma Musume Season 2 for the final race covered in this series. After sustaining a much more severe fracture on the 3rd of June 1993, Teio would cancel her race at the Takarazuka Kinen. This would showcase the internal struggle of Teio in the anime, seeing how she could have won the competition if she had participated. Teio would go through a lot of highs and lows at this point, but with the help of her friends and her trainer, she finds the strength and determination to continue on. At this point, Teio would be told she may never race at full capacity again, a devastating blow to the young Uma. Despite this, her determination to race never dwindled, and even through the pain of rehabilitation and conditioning, she found herself once more on the race course.
You need to win this.
A year after Tokai Teio's crushing loss at the Arima Kinen, the race following Tokai Teio's Japan Cup victory, she participated in the following year's Arima Kinen. The popularity of Tokai Teio had seen many ups and downs from her audience, but everyone hoped for a miracle for this race. Teio's popularity at the previous Arima Kinen would be first seeded to win. However, after the crushing defeat a year prior, it had dropped to 4th. If Teio's previous absence had little hope for turning a—
Okay, wait, 4th place. She got 4th place. He got 4th place. Okay.
victory, this race had even more doubt. In the recorded history of Japanese horse racing, there hasn't been a single G1 winner that hadn't raced for a year and come back victorious on the track. It's unheard of in general for this to occur at all, to have a horse return after such a long hiatus. Injuries like Teio's, for many, will result in retirement. When the race began, nothing seemed out of the ordinary. Teio would perform as he usually did in both the anime and in Uma Musume's final episode. As the race progressed though, just like with the Japan Cup, the audience began to see something remarkable occur. The miracle they all hoped for was about to become a reality. In the anime, Teio digs deep to find the strength to push for first place, directly reflecting actual footage of the 1993 Arima Kinen. Just like in the Japan—
Never mind, so no fourth place. No fourth place. It is one. It is one. Hopefully, please. I think fourth place meant fourth favorite again, right? Please win this. Please, I beg of you, please win this, please.
Cup, the audience cheers were overwhelming. The legacy of Tokai Teio was still alive, and a victory only described as a miracle was about to occur. Teio would surpass Biwa Hayahide near the final spurt of the race, claiming another G1 victory.
Big, another win. Let's freaking go, dude. Another one. Another one. Big. I love this.
After 364 consecutive days away from the racecourse, this solidified Teio as one of the greatest racehorses of all time, setting the record for the longest period for a G1 winner to return and win yet another G1 race. Even in modern day, this record remains undefeated, a lasting example of Teio's perseverance. The victory in the anime comes off episodes of Teio struggling with her injuries, the possibility of not racing again, nor racing with her beloved rival, Mejiro McQueen. Teio's victory in the anime is described as a miracle race because that's exactly what it was. Not only did Teio defy all odds at the Japan Cup,
Absolutely. I mean, we can even look at this in most human sports, right? People take a really long break. I mean, this is almost a year-long break, right? People who take a real long break will also usually not perform as well as they would when they when they did not take a break, right? After like an injury, right? That makes sense.
But once more in 1993 at the Arima Kinen, a victory that would end Teio's career on a high note after sequences of crushing defeats. Sadly, following the Arima Kinen victory, in 1994, Teio would sustain one final fracture that would force him into retirement. Even though he didn't claim the Triple Crown title, Teio had solidified himself as a legendary racehorse. Unsurprisingly, in 1995, Tokai Teio was inducted.
Okay, cool. Okay. So, I don't think this will end up in a horse being put down, so that's good. That's the ending I want.
Inducted to the JRA Hall of Fame, immortalizing his story of perseverance and determination. Following Teio's retirement, a photo album was released of him titled Yume o Kakeru, which is the same name as the second season's opening of Uma Musume, a tribute to Teio's legacy and the lasting impact he had on Japanese horse racing. Teio would live out the remainder of his life away from the racetrack, acting as a breeding stallion to continue on the legacy as he did Rudolph's. Teio would have 835 offspring,
That's a lot of horses. Child support would be high.
Some of the most notable being Tokai Point, Yamanin's Cure, Tokai Pulsar, and Strong Blood. Tokai Teio lived comfortably for the remainder of his life before passing away on August 30th, 2013. He was the age of 25 and sadly would die of heart failure.
Okay, 25. That is around the average. Okay, pretty cool.
A racehorse who defied all odds and returned to captivate the hearts of millions. This was the story of Tokai Teio, one of determination and perseverance, a legacy honored by an energetic Uma with a love for racing and a drive to never give up. Who would you like to see me cover next in this series? Be sure to let me know in the comment section down below.
I think since I spent so much on my Top Gun and Air Groove, I think those two should be next up. Nah, I'm just kidding. Do whatever you like, whatever your community decides, huh? Anyways, I just love these videos. They're so well made. They're so good. I do need a redux of I need a redone version of Harurara though in the future. Definitely. I do need one for sure. Because she's my favorite. I love that little loser. Anyways, like, comment, and subscribe.